Sam Darnold.
Really?
Yeah, it's Sam Darnold.
God. His grandpa is a CEO of Marvel or something?
What? His granddad was like the Marlboro man, like
Really?
for advertisement.
Oh, wow. Huh.
His name was Dick Hammer.
No way.
Had to work for that title.
Dick Hammer's in.
Get ready for 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Baker, Grim Reaper. Jeez.
Where? What?
I'm scared.
I hate
I'm
Baker
very scared of him
so much.
He's a sober Johnny Manziel. Semi-sober Johnny Manziel.
Genuinely just one of my least favorite players in the NFL, Baker Mayfield.
My buddy's a diehard Oklahoma guy, so he's like, he'll root for Kyler if Kyler's playing, or Hurts if Hurts is playing, Baker if Baker's playing.
Why did you like limit the amount I zoom in and zoom out?
You don't really have to zoom in like all the time. It's mostly just panning and following the ball.
Yeah. If it gets like deep in the corner, you might want to, but aside from that, you don't need to. And then that pole's gonna get in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just. Cover their starters?
Sure, if you want to. Oh, sure. Where's my sheet? Oh, it's in front of me. We're off to a great start this afternoon.
These 1 o'clock games will get to you, man.
Oh, Jesus. Green shorts.
Wait, actually?
They have green shorts, yes.
What?
This is just going to piss me off.
Why?
I don't know.
Look, but everyone else has. Well, did he just. What?
No, they all got green shorts.
Oh, they have. Then what?
So we're going to go with green tops.
Oh, I'm sure. He's on the other end of the field.
Yeah.
Like, what?
We're going to go with green tops, and they're going to go with green shorts.
That's just genius, isn't it?
My God. Did y'all not have like an all-black kid or like an all... I'll take a gray kid.
It's a scrimmage.
It's ridiculous. Can y'all wear pennies? Wear penny jerseys for me. So I can see.
Or some pink.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll go on at 12:50.
What color are their jerseys, though?
I'm gonna wager gray.
Gray.
Or no, they're striped. You're kidding me.
What?
They're white and green striped.
What? Well, at least that's easy to tell.
But we're black and green
Yeah, exactly.
striped.
So it's black and white. All you gotta do is focus on the black and white. But also, you cannot see those numbers. Am I tweaking or can I just not see that number?
We can't see numbers on our team either, I bet you.
The good thing is everyone looks fairly
They're
different.
just making it hard for us.
Yeah, I can't. Black. I can see 5. Black numbers. Really? Also, that might be the ugliest kid I've ever seen in my life.
It's not great.
That is so bad. I don't get punched right. Never have.
Can we hear each other today? I think we can. We can hear. We can hear each other.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's good.
Finally. Okay, I'm double teaming this. Let's do it like this.
Ooh, the double team.
There we go.
Okay, so we're wearing black kits today.
Okay, not bad.
Black kits, gold numbers.
Oh, we're gonna be roasting. Off a second game, that's tough.
Oh, I see what they are. So it's black on the back and stripes on the front. It's not stripes all the way through.
Oh, that's right.
I see now.
I remember that now. It's easy to tell the numbers at least.
Check, check, check. Good afternoon and welcome to the Walker Athletic Complex here on the Demers campus of Piedmont University. It is a hot day, a cloudy day on the first day of fall. Mr. Grant Prather by my side, Ian Grimes on the camera this afternoon. Grant, it's the first day of fall, but man, it does not feel like it.
Yeah, like you said, really, really hot day, high mid-80s. Piedmont wearing those black-backed kits and on this turf. The start of false fall, they even had a game yesterday, so they're going to have to really find something in the tank here.
Absolutely, and we mentioned the heat at the top of the game because it appears right now the heat is playing a huge factor already for the Lions, as we have a couple of major starters not in today's lineup for Piedmont, which we'll get to here in a minute. But Lions, 3-3 tie draw with Pfeiffer yesterday, but Grant, it's a game that you really felt like the Lions could have won. It was just a pair of two defensive miscues that really set up the Pfeiffer Falcons for a draw last afternoon.
Yeah, all those chances that you weren't able to get through, or all those mistakes you have, ended up in that draw, a game that was definitely winnable. Piedmont still had a good program start, 4-2-2 so far, and against William Peace, this should be a pretty good matchup. We heard earlier there was 9 cards, so this could be an intense one.
Definitely intense one. It was an intense one yesterday between the Lions and the Falcons. Go ahead and give you the starting lineups. Grant, you want to take it away for the visiting William Peace Pacers.
So number 3, Joey Hurley's out there defending. Number 4, Gavin Beaupre. Number 5, Kwame Samakor. Number 6, Gene Banks Murillo. Number 7, the forward, Jorge Lemus. Number 12, Danny Romanchuk at mid. Number 19, Ethan Gillette also at mid. A forward, Asa Amwenga. Number 24, Topher Johnson also at forward. And defending, number 26, Andrew Mesnard. And in goal, number 39, Rafa Quevodo Antunes.
And the starters for your homestanding Lions, and immediately off the bat we have a change. It's in the net. It's going to be Chase Johnson instead of Bobby Wood, the regular. Anjay Grant steps out there wearing number 2. Number 4, Nathan Jacome is going to be in the back defending. Number 8, Philip Nowak gets to start along with freshman sensation number 9, Mason Keith. Colin Vogel is going to be on the field as well as usual. Paired with him will be Davis Knight. The captain, Jason Ossine, takes over the reins in midfield, and Lyric Bratton will also be in the back defending. Jackson Shirley gets to start this afternoon along with Jack DeSanto. So a couple of new starters, and it is because it's back-to-back blazing hot days here at the WAC, and we're not saying that, it's 89 degrees or so. No, it's going to average about 92 this afternoon, and of course on the turf it gets a lot hotter, so I don't know the exact temperature differential, but it's going to feel like 97 out there on the turf for these guys.
At least, and especially when you're in goal, you're sitting and baking in that heat. But if you're not in goal, you're having to run around. So either way, it's a lose-lose. Still going to be a hot day.
Chase Johnson, definitely a downgrade in the height department, opposed to the tall Bobby Wood. I mean, look, and there's not a lot of people can be to be as tall as Bobby Wood, except for my man Grant here. But again, Chase Johnson, maybe a lot more agility Coach Stevens is going to go with, along with getting his big goalkeeper maybe rested and ready for the second half. NCAA rules permit one swap in the first half. Once you come out, you're done. But in the second half, you can swap as much as you like. So it's for Coach Stevens, I think it's going to be a lot of keeping these guys fresh, making sure their legs are underneath them, making sure no one gets gassed, dehydrated, or anything like that, because this is going to be a very crucial matchup in a welcome home week, really, for the Piedmont fans and the Piedmont Lions. And a victory here today would really set the tone on how they want to proceed into this season.
Definitely. You got conference play coming up in October, so it would be a huge vote of confidence for them. And like you said, Chase Johnson at 5'9", not the tallest, Bobby Wood 6'4", but that agility might help.
Captains meeting with the referees as we are all ready to line up for the national anthem. We'll step away from that and welcome you back in when it's time to play soccer. You're watching Piedmont Lions Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to Piedmont Lions Athletics on YouTube. Eric Edmondson here with Grant Prather this afternoon. Ian Grimes on the camera, getting ready to go for the second game of the weekend for the Piedmont Lions versus the visiting William Peace Pacers. Goodness gracious. Hopefully that doesn't tie me up too bad today. Starting lineups being announced, and final thoughts from you, Grant. How can the Lions really come away with maybe it's not going to come to a numerical victory, but how can they come away with a moral victory here?
I think using your depth, because also that gives your whole team confidence, because there's a lot of good depth, a lot of good freshmen. We mentioned Lyric Bratton, Mason Keith, new phenom coming up. So giving those guys those chances, especially Chase Johnson with a good shot here to kind of prove his worth on this Sunday after a game that you just had, really tough fought game yesterday on Saturday. Barely even 24 hours turnaround. So using that depth is really going to be good, really going to be key for building confidence in the future.
In fact, it's going to be a little bit earlier, as this game was scheduled for 2 p.m. but was moved up to 1 p.m. So these guys had to reset their clocks very early, hop out of bed a little bit more spry to take on this tough William Peace team. So obviously, a couple changes in the lineup. So no Delroy Mattis, no Bobby Wood, and no James Cash. So all three of those players are very high defensive options, whether they play midfield or back in the defense in the case of Bobby Wood along with Delroy Mattis. So I definitely assume we're going to see those players at some point today. Absolutely we will. But right now it's going to be about, can the players on the pitch right the ship and keep it steady? I love Nathan Jacome in the backfield. He's very aggressive with it. He might be a little bit more disciplined than he was last year, which is exactly what you love to see out of a freshman coming into his own as a sophomore. So I really love this defensive setup for the Lions, but it's all going to be about the attack. We talked about it last year, and we've seen it yesterday. This is a Lions team that is going to want to score you out of the building. 3 goals yesterday, 6 combined with Pfeiffer. So that tells me 2 things. The defense had a couple of lapses, and the offense was on a heater. If you can figure out a way to make sure that everyone is going to be cued in and on the same page defensively, you can come away with a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, those transitions are going to be big from defense to offense, and you mentioned Piedmont's aggressiveness. Right now they have 30 more corners than Pfeiffer this season, so that's a big difference. It shows the aggression of this team.
And that's excluding the 5 or 6 they accumulated in yesterday's game versus the Falcons. Getting ready to go here. Both teams taking the pitch and waiting for the referee's signal as everyone finishes up their pregame rituals, their handshakes, their stretches, etc. Davis Knight wearing the face mask. A little bit of a nose injury. He's had that on a couple days.
Turning into Miami Heat LeBron with it. He's always been a menace on the court, but that just adds to it.
Absolutely. Final huddle for William Peace before they will stretch out across the pitch. Lions in their home kits, I would say. Black and gold bars with some gold piping on the front side. Black backs with gold numerals and Piedmont across the chest. On the left you have William Peace with white and green kits barred as well, with green and white shorts. Goalkeeper in the net for William Peace will be sporting baby blue and navy blue. We are all set for kickoff. It looks like the Lions are going to receive this one first as Davis Knight gets prepared. Referee gets the thumbs up, and we are underway. Just a minute off schedule. 1:01 on the clock, and here we go at the whack. Lyric Bratton. Freshman quickly playing defense, gets it to the captain, Jason Oseen, who puts it out on a wing to Andre Grant. Grant back to Jason. Oseen fires one across the pitch, tries to find his man on the outside, but it's going to run into a Peace defender. Knight intercepted it momentarily, but Peace now playing with it in their half. Knight circles it off. Now Colin Vogel flips to his side. Oseen playing up a lot here. Mason Keith was on the far side. The Pacers moving the ball a little bit towards midfield here. Jack DeSanto patrolling midfield. Vogel, this one goes over his head. Asin having a little bit more of an aggressive role than he had yesterday, playing a lot more heavily around that midfield. As that's going to go deep into the Lions' corner. Vogel. Now Lyric Bratton will round that one off. It'll close off the route, and it should be a goal kick. It will be for Chase Johnson, his first action of the afternoon.
Bratton, the freshman, making the big play off the start, just denying those opportunities. Like you said, good defense turns into good offense.
Bratton goes to Asin. A very tough first touch. Grant collects it now. Jason back passes to DeSanto. This will get past, and a good clear will find its way into the arms of Chase Johnson. Jacome had the option to clear that one, but unfortunately the Pacers shin guard is right in the middle of that one. Thankfully Johnson was ready to go, and he collects it. There's that clear that Jacome was looking for. Great off-footed touch by Knight, gives an opportunity for Keith. Keith, a little bit of slip up in the box. Davis Knight now tumbles to the ground. No whistle blown. It'll be collected by Atunez.
That attack of Knight, Keith, and Vogel is just so quick, and that time it was just a little bit too quick, but their speed is just lethal.
And that's even when you throw in Colin Vogel, it gets a lot more tough. Jackson Shirley eyeing this one down for the Lions. Samakor passes back to Atunez for the Pacers. A goalkeeper for the Pacers, Atunez, setting the pitch in front of him, directing traffic. He'll wheel it out to his left side. Atunez is well outside of the net here, looking to play a more vital role, but now the Lions trying to stage an attack. It's going to fall deeper into their territory, though. Jack DeSanto eyeing it down. So is Keith. Knight and Keith moving up. Vogel quickly behind them, but it's going to go across midfield. Good clearance by Atunez. Deep into the corner they race now. It looks like James Cash has been entered into the game, and he'll be battling for it into the corner. Good clearance. Looked like Asin on the touch. This one flies up, and Chase Johnson unable to get it as the ball flies into the corner from well outside the box. And early on, the Pacers schedule a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Beaupre's placement on that was just about perfect. Far right side. We talked about the height difference from Johnson and Wood. Obviously, Johnson a bit quicker, but you got to imagine what if you had a 6'4" framer Bobby Wood in that scenario. Would it be any different?
And that was just a boot from well outside of the box there as well. It was an excellent clearance by the Piedmont defense, but unfortunately just an even better setup by William Peace, as now the Lions will have to play on their back foot here early on in this matchup. This one outside, and a difficult first touch by James Cash. Jackson Shirley and Asin wrestling for this one. The two lose control of it as Peace takes control once more in midfield. Davis Knight flying in, trying to win this one-on-one. Keith. DeSanto. And now going straight up the middle. Jackson Shirley being put on defense. Colin Vogel now racing towards the corner along with Andre Grant. Lyric Bratton misses it, and an excellent clear by the captain, Asin. As this will roll all the way to the backfield for the Pacers. Huge boot from well out, just trying to get distance. Grant tracking, now Shirley. Lions trying to swarm this ball and get it out, and thankfully Chase Johnson comes in to clear up any sort of ideas that the Pacers had there. That was a little worrying from the Lions defense.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the personnel switch, but the defense looks a little bit out of sync, maybe lacking a little bit of communication, something I have to work on a little bit over the course of this game.
Keith watches it disappear across his head. It will be a throw-in for William Peace. DeSanto a header, and foul called, and will go towards William Peace. Lions defense fanning out here, as well as the Pacers offense. In fact, they're pushing a lot of the chips in. Just 2 defenders on the opposite end. Now that flips to 3. Filling out the box for this long set piece. Free kick by the Pacers. It's high. It's driven deep into the box. Header won by William Peace, but it's not well. Chase Johnson, a diving stop, collects it before it rolls in for the second goal. 2 saves now for Johnson. Grant. Davis Knight on the near side wing. Now Knight blasting his way up the middle, goes for a shot well out. It's going to turn into a goal kick.
Questionable early game decision, but I mean, you're not complaining. You want to get on some sort of attack to at least get a feel for how their defense is going to play, how their goalie is going to play, and you got to make up ground now as you're down 1-0.
Ball driven down the far side of the field. And it'll be a throw-in for Piedmont. Chase Johnson goes for a long kick. Looks like he has eyes for Vogel. Grant having a race in, though, but it's going to be cleared and taken to the backfield by the Pacers. Topher Johnson on that one. Asin watches this one, chipped over his head very well. James Cash racing in, trying to keep it out, but it's going to fall in. Actually, I believe that is going to be a foul, at least it should be. Maybe a throw-in here. It is going to be a throw-in. Didn't know if that ball was completely out or not. I guess a little hard to see deep into that far side corner. Lyric Bratton, who spent a lot of his game at the backfield, makes his opponent, goes to Andre Grant. Grant to Davis Knight. Lions trying to start an attack here, but it's going to be poked out by the William Peace defenders, and now Knight and Grant running through a trio. Excellent triangle by William Peace, but Vogel steps in to re-sturdy this Lions attack. Jackson Shirley to Jason Asin. Asin. Long way over to James Cash. Now the Lions pushing in chips on the offense. Keith runs into a high kick. No call. DeSanto trying to win this one-on-one. Now it turns into a 2-on-1. Here comes Shirley once more. Jackson Shirley trying to find Davis Knight. Now Asin. Asin goes for it. It's going to go wide of the goal and out. Excellent attack attempt by the Lions, but unfortunately maybe a little bit of miscommunication by Asin and Knight as both of them tried to go for that ball at the same time.
Definitely, and Quevedo Antunes in goal. Like you said, he was coming out a lot before, but he was out of the box a lot on that play. So big risk, and I mean, not really a reward, but you saved an opportunity.
And a short goal kick by Quevedo Antunes. Find DeSanto a little bit further up than he's used to, at least in this game. He's going to fall back a little bit here as now Davis Knight finds himself as the lone striker attacker at the front. Nathan Jacome comes up a little bit out of the backfield, then returns to his spot immediately. There's a lot of fluidity happening right now with the Lions defense, Grant.
Yeah, they look a little bit more in sync than they were before, especially around that midfield area. They've really changed of how the original game plan was.
Excellent kip up by Jacome, but this one is going to be a weak hit all the way to Chase Johnson. Johnson, he's been busy today, Grant. Lots of shots on goal by the Pacers. One of them has gone in, but that was one that was well outside off a miscommunication by the defense.
He's had to get adjusted very quickly, Eric, and he's been doing a good job, all things considered. That one goal was just a complete snipe.
DeSanto tripped up there. Referee and official has let this one play out a lot here. We've seen a lot of maybes. No stoppage of play so far, and I think that's good for how these two teams are going to be competing against each other this afternoon.
Like we said, 9 cards last time. So, I mean, all you can hope for is that the officials don't let anything go too far, but pretty clean played game. Not too much talking going on, it looks like, so far.
Cloud had kept the pitch in shadow for a little bit, but now it appears to be opening the curtain a little bit as sun begins to bathe it once more. Nathan Jacome tries to get it out to the far side. It'll roll out, and it will be a William Peace throw-in. Moving quickly now, not wasting any time. Right through the legs of the defender, Santo. Peace going for an attack on the outer edge, and an excellent defense by Andre Grant to play it off the hip, and then Lyric Bratton with a clear for the moment. Now Peace still going for it. Lyric Bratton to touch off the knee, keeping it in the air. Ossine now goes for the clear, and is going to go for a through ball all the way to Davis Knight. Davis Knight now having to use the speed against William Peace's defender, but unfortunately just a little bit too fast for the sophomore. Far, deep into the Lion territory. Cash and Jacome, and a hard shove by Peace's offender. Keith to Ossine. Knight able to win that one for a moment, but flying it out of nowhere is William Peace's defense. And Grant, apart from maybe two chances that frankly weren't two good chances at all, the Lions have not been able to get any sort of cohesive attack.
I think that's due to the Pacers' cohesive attacks because they have just been foot on the throttle this entire game, maybe trying to catch the Lions off guard and also while they're tired.
Again, this game coming not 24 hours after a brutal matchup against Pfeiffer, as that one almost found the bleachers up there. That's a hard thing to do. It was hot yesterday, it's hot today, and both of these teams are wearing darker colors. Andre Grant. Grant to Davis Knight. Knight wheeling off a route here is going to get closed by William Peace. Lyric Bratton to header. And a poor kick by the Pacers. Not sure. It seems like whenever the Pacers are in the box, they're in the confines, they take whatever kick is necessary. Because after that first snipe, we've seen about 4 shots on goal that have been very weak-footed. They have not been calculated at all. They're just trying to get that ball to Chase Johnson. I think that's a weakness that Lions can expose.
Yeah, and I think the Pacers are trying to take advantage of the opportunities while they have them, because we mentioned the Lions' aggressiveness as it usually is, and obviously they haven't had those chances because the Pacers are just going shot after shot, chance after chance, and really putting that pressure on Johnson, like you said.
They know it's not their regular Bobby Wood in the net. Jackson Shirley. Shirley and Cash. Now Vogel. The Pacers take a shot from well outside the box, but it is going to take a left turn at Albuquerque and past the pole. And Chase Johnson will have another goal kick.
And again, just another shot opportunity. They just taking them while they have them. I like the game plan because, like I said, even if you're up 1-0, you still want to have that aggression to try to put the game away as early as possible. But the Lions, again, playing good cohesive defense.
It's very interesting because if they don't want to do many passes to give the Lions an opportunity to get a clear here, so they keep going with shot after shot that just continuously have Piedmont reset the defense in front of them for Chase Johnson to deliver a goal kick.
That also kills any Lions offensive momentum. Even if there is no clear, they just can't really get a good attack formed.
Momentum is built on the turnover that you get. And that is not what's happening right now for Piedmont as Atunez comes out of the net once more. Deliver a kick to Kwame Suckmore. Long ball here. Chase Johnson will collect it. And goes for a short throw in all the way to Andre Grant. Grant now trying to get it through to Colin Vogel. Vogel can't get the first touch on it as it will roll past the white line and be a throw in for William Peace. Vogel, known for his speed, unfortunately could not connect to that through ball by Andre Grant. Short throw in here. That from Banks Murillo. Lions now in enemy territory. If you can get this steal here before a cross. Jack DeSanto Jason Oseen, Vogel, and Knight, part of the attackers. And now they'll fall back to their defenses at midfield. A long ball once again from defense to offense, coast to coast for William Peace as they go deep into the corner. Excellent job by Mason Keith to wrestle that one free, and it should be a throw-in for the Lions. It will be. James Cash taking it here. Going off the chest past Oseen's head. Mason Keith on that one before it went out. Slow roller right past Chase Johnson. And it'll roll out and be yet another goal kick for him.
Just under 28 minutes now left in this first half. Still 1-0. We've been talking about it. Piedmont's defense has looked good, but their offense hasn't because they haven't really been able to get a lot of chances.
Davis Knight falls to the pitch, and that should be the first foul of the day. It will be. It was a good attempt by Davis, just throwing the legs out there, trying to keep the ball in front of him, but unfortunately it's going to turn into a free kick here for William Peace.
Yeah, tough break from Davis. He was already on the ground. He had his legs outstretched, but decided to stretch him more, and now having some words with the ref. Tough break.
Yeah, referee hopefully just telling him his parameters. I think that was pretty obvious what was happening there. Clavado Atunez. Oseen, excellent takeaway. Davis Knight pushed through, and that is going to be a foul. No doubt about that one. Had to be, especially after what Knight did. That will be against Joey Hurley.
Yeah, that one an easy call. You could see as soon as he kicked it, in the same motion, pushed Knight down right around that Lions logo.
And so now we see a really big strong suit of this Lions team, and that is the set pieces, particularly taken by Jason Oseen.
And you see Jacome down right in that mix, 6'3". He's got a good vertical. He's known for his headers. This Oseen to Jacome connection is lethal.
Oseen puts it in the air. Everybody fans out in front of him. Atunez makes the stop but cannot collect. And now he collects. Runs into Colin Vogel. I'm not sure how he got out of that huddle as quick as he did.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. And Atunez, again, coming out of that net a lot. Very risky play, as if Vogel could have gotten the ball on his foot, that would have been a goal.
Pacers near midfield. Blast right through. And that ball's out. Should be a throw-in for the Lions. Will. This one off the back of Keith. Davis Knight trying to transition. Turn this one into an attack. And another foul at the cost of Knight. Knight turned on his neck and out on his back on that one. And the official definitely needs to have some words with somebody, because that is 3 back-to-back fouls for both Piedmont and William Peace.
And barely 2 minutes, too. Yeah, Knight got tripped up there, so they're being aggressive towards them, trying to maybe shut him down, but not in the best way.
And the official needs to say something here, because we know the history between these two clubs. Oseen sets it up once more. This one, another beautiful kick. A header, though, by William Peace's defender, and it will be promptly cleared out by Asura Amwanga. Oseen tried for another cross, but was deflected. Knight able to wheel off, puts his man on skates, goes for Vogel. Vogel off a kick, and Atunez with a save. And the keeper will come out and collect it. What a beautiful showing by Knight and Vogel. Vogel just unable to get a hard enough touch to get past Atunez.
Yeah, that perfect 1-2 punch we saw a lot last year, but Atunez's perfect reaction with that left foot to go and stop it.
And now you see the substitutions getting ready on the sideline. Among them appears to be Nico Eberhardt, Boris Bosick, and Andre Grant. Oh, quick work with the umbrella over there in the corner. Deflected that ball instantly. It was coming, and I didn't see the umbrella up, and then they saw it out of the corner of their eye. Cat-like reflexes by our spectators here at the WAC.
You always got to be ready.
Always got to be. Thankfully, we are clear of threat from up here. So I don't know if I would be as quick with the hands as some of our onlookers. Vogel to Asin, to Jack DeSanto, now James Cash. Cash, through ball, trying to find Knight. Instead, it's going to roll into the hands of Atunez, and that was almost costly for the keeper, Cavado Atunez, because of how far he comes out of the net. Almost stepped across the white line and collected that well out of his parameters.
You got to think at some point, is that going to pay off for the Lions? Because he is being extremely aggressive with coming out, but it's worked so far for him.
If you can make it not so much as a long cross as it has been, if you can make it a short cross and force Atunez out, I don't think that he is going to get back in that net. I think he's going to want to be in frontline action. And if you can slip it past the keeper, that's an automatic goal because he is not defending the net.
And with the speed of the Lions' attack, that can be lethal for an aggressive goalie like that because you can pass and you can move so quickly.
Absolutely. And Grant taking a water break here as we should on the pitch. What can you see that are the Lions doing anything better? Have they adapted on the pitch than we first saw them in the opening minutes?
I think they're doing a better job of transitioning out of a defense and clearing it, getting on that offensive attack. They didn't have too much of an offensive attack early on because the Pacers were just outclassing them in terms of holding onto the ball and keeping that possession time. But the Lions are doing a better job now of holding the ball offensively, trying to formulate some stuff. They're using those foul calls to their advantage, getting those good set pieces, but Atunez is doing a good job in the net.
That's something I want to mention, the foul calls. The Pacers are being a lot more aggressive, and if Davis Knight, hate it for him, but if he can find his way in the middle of something, you're going to set up free kick after free kick, and the last free kick was a great chance for Asin. It was beautiful. It would just happen to be right in the way of a forehead of one of the defenders. We're going to take a quick break here while the players on the pitch do so as well. You're watching Piedmont Lions Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to Piedmont Lions Athletics on YouTube. Eric Edmondson and Grant Prather here with you. Ian Grimes on the camera. Hope you're staying cool wherever you are, and if you're watching online, there is a chance that you are keeping cool. But if you're with us on the sidelines here this afternoon, thank you for making the journey out to Demorest, Georgia. Beautiful Demorest, Georgia. You know, Grant turned up the heat a little bit. He was feeling a little cold, so if you're hot out there, blame him. It's not my fault. It's his fault.
What can I say, man? Sometimes it feels like summer, and I want it to be hot outside. Almost 90 out here.
It does certainly feel like summer. The sun is high. There are a couple of fluffy white clouds across the sky, and the heat is turned up both outside and on the pitch. Like what I did there. Defense for the Lions trying to swarm this ball, and James Cash somehow avoids a foul to get on top of it. It'll be stolen away by the Pacers. Near that line, Chase Johnson unable to, caught flat-footed as it'll roll past him once more, and it's now 2-0 in favor of William Peace. You have to clear that ball, Grant.
Yeah, and that no call on James Cash might have confused the defense a little bit. Because like you said, Chase Johnson got caught flat-footed on that one. And those subs that are coming in, Mattis, Eberhardt, maybe they need some fresh life to kind of reset this game.
And they will definitely need it, as the Lions have been backed into a early corner. So again, Nico Eberhardt, Boris Bosick, and Delroy Mattis among those. See who the next new guy is here in a moment. But the Lions find themselves once again at the crest kicking off, but not after one of their own goals. Despite having a couple chances, they just can't get that final touch off. They can't close the deal. Hopefully a little bit of a height advantage will suit them. Appears to be Andre Grant came out of the game. Nico Eberhardt took his place. So you are taking a little bit of height off the field there, but Delroy Mattis and Nathan Jacome both are still on the pitch. Jacome to Lyric Bratton. Nico Eberhardt having to wheel around and go deep into the corner. Goes for the long cross, but it is going to land. Davis Knight trying, and it is going to stay in. Beautiful job by Nico Eberhardt. James Cooper in the game at midfield, or rather center. No, he's in midfield. No. See, he was there a minute ago. He confused me. All right. Christy Pescaru also in the game. Chase Johnson had a little bit of trouble there. Almost was another adventure for the goalkeeper, but he's able to cross it out. Nico Eberhardt being very aggressive here, shoved to the ground. That should be a foul. It will be.
You mentioned the height differences of the subs that came in. Having Mattis on the defensive end is huge because he can use his length to get those good clears and try to get the Lions on offense again.
Speaking of Mattis, that ball intended for him. Now Boris Bosick loses that one as Peace blasts through his defense. Mattis using his speed to his advantage. Him and Bosick trying to 2-on-1 this ball. Jacome deep into the corner. Jacome able to get a beautiful touch on that one. And he will cross it over to the bench. It'll be a throw-in. And we mentioned at the top of the broadcast that NCAA rules say that once you're out in the first half, you are out. So Andre Grant will be unavailable for the rest of this first half. And I'm surprised we didn't see Bobby Wood here coming in for Chase Johnson. If anything, put your best foot forward and try to stop the bleeding before you can go full on with your substitutions in the second half.
Yeah, already down 2-0. You got to stop the bleeding a little bit and hope to maybe start a little bit of bleeding on your own. For the Pacers, Piedmont, their offensive attack just hasn't really been able to get going, which is why they're still a goose egg on the scoreboard for them.
It's been paper cuts against stab wounds for the Lions. Nathan Jacome out in front of this one, goes for the long clear, intended for Pescaru. Also out of the game, Mason Keith, the freshman, sat down. Chase Johnson, a early dive, and thankfully he's able to get back to his feet and collect it in front of him. That was very close, Grant.
Definitely, and like we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, his agility is really good, so for maybe Bobby Wood, that would have been a tougher play to make, would have taken him longer to get up.
$18 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half. Davis Knight having to track this ball, going back and forth. This is a good job by the William Peace defenders, if anything, to tire out the Lions' lead attacker. Lyric Bratton. Now Andre Grant covering this ball well for Piedmont. On the wing, Joey Hurley pushes through. Chase Johnson and Nico Eberhardt watching this one, and it is going to be put out by William Peace. It'll be a stop to the momentum and a goal kick for Chase Johnson. See if Johnson looks deep on this one. He doesn't. He goes to Lyric Bratton to his left. Bratton goes through Davis Knight, tough touch, but Nico Eberhardt there to receive it. This one right down the line. It'll be a throw-in for William Peace, but it sets the ball up into their territory. And they've gone with short throw-ins before, and they're going to go give it to Atunez. This has been a strategy. It's been Atunez just controlling the ball. He gets it and then sits with it and just gets it off to a defender every time.
It's conservative, definitely. That's the best word for it.
And that's the position that the Lions have put themselves in. It's been very conservative. The Pacers don't have to play risky. They can hold their cards to their chest for the entirety of the rest of the game. They could just have the ball in their court and not give the Lions any opportunity and just hold it. That's the hole that they've dug themselves into, and Chase Johnson, a ball directly at him, reels it in on the chest.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Pacers trying to just hold the ball, but we've seen this Lions attack be lethal before, and they can do it again. So they just got to turn up the gas a little bit. That's all it takes.
Delroy Mattis. They'll be out in a throw-in. Nico Eberhardt back to Lyric Bratton. Vogel trying to win this one-on-one, and Delroy Mattis steals it away, trying to push his way up the left side. Delroy. Over to Nico. Vogel now. Vogel looking for a pass, is going to go conservatively to Cooper. Cooper to Bosick. Bosick unable to win it, and it's going to be stolen away by William Peace. Lions trying to stop this attack where it is right now, and it'll be a throw-in for William Peace. That was something was cooking right there. But when they went for the long passes, it seemed like it gave the William Peace defenders a chance to swarm the ball. So maybe Lions going forward, especially a halftime conversation, we'll talk about maybe short passes, concise passes. Let's use our speed and get through this defense, because in a foot race, I don't think any of the William Peace attackers or defenders are going to beat any of the top three for the Lions.
Definitely not, and yeah, the speed is a big factor. Those long passes aren't exactly a bad thing. Bosick normally has that issue where he kind of doesn't want to go for the ball sometimes. That's what happened there, but those short passes and the speed are going to be key the second half.
Grant is going to catch a foul here. A little bit too aggressive. That's the third foul of the half from William Peace, and quite egregious. They're not things where it's just like what happened tonight where he just stuck his leg out where he shouldn't have. These are calculated in order to take down this momentum, but it does set up another free kick. Jason Austin's going to take it again, and I think this free kick is paramount for scoring for the Lions, as you're going to see Jacome and Mattis swarm the box. Austin raises the right hand, drives that ball deep. Mattis, unable to get into the air, is going to roll out, and it should be a goal kick for Atunez.
Pacers just clustering up that box, not giving Mattis or Jacome any chances, even though they're 3-4 inches shorter than those two players. They're just clustering up and playing decent defense. And, it's a cliche. You got to hope that chance was third time is the charm, but like you said, that was paramount. That could be a decent momentum swing.
Jacome. Now Peace. Nathan racing back in on this one. Smartly closing off his route and pokes it right through the legs of the attacker. Now we have a player down on the pitch. You got to stop time here if you're the referee. And they do. I didn't see exactly who went down there. It appears to be Boris Bosick, as he's hands and knees on the turf right now. So Bosick apparently taken down to the turf. He's going to get water from the sideline. Boris is very slow getting up, and he will be attended to by the trainers. And I think Boris is going to come out of this game.
Looks like maybe, I didn't see what happened, but it might have been something on his head or his chest. Maybe he got the wind knocked out of him, because when you get the wind knocked out of you, you want to stay on the ground for a little bit. And he's walking a bit quicker now, but he looks a little bit out of it.
Yeah. So hopefully Boris is okay, as he'll take the long walk to the edge of the bench. And we'll see who's coming in here? Will they play? Who's coming in? Lyric Bratton. Bratton to Nico. Nico's going to wheel off to Chase Johnson. Mattis. Back to Johnson. Johnson, big clear here. Looking for Davis Knight. Playing off a header, though, is Gavin Pupri. Pescaru. All right, there's Boris back on his feet, ready to re-enter. So just out for a couple minutes or so, did just need to get his feet back underneath him. Here comes Boris. Joey Hurley on the right side for William Peace. Great trap and a great win by Cooper. Cooper quickly back into action here. Nico Eberhardt able to get a touch on it. Lyric Bratton now. Get this ball out of here. Vogel able to throw on the brakes and get a touch on that one. And now William Peace slowing it down a lot into their area and seeing what opportunity they can have. It's going to be from well outside going for the cross, and Chase Johnson able to get there.
Yeah, the Pacers' game plan has just been to swarm the ball and just snuff out any opportunities the Lions even try to create. And while the Pacers have had their opportunities of their own, they've kept it in their possession for a while, trying to tire out this Piedmont defense.
I'll be interested to see at the half what the possession is between the both squads. Cooper gets a foot on it, and it'll be put out.
Just about 11 minutes left, so just barely enough time for the Lions to maybe have an attack to try to put one up on the board. You got to think you got to have some sort of momentum to go into the second half, because if you start it stagnant, it's not going to help you.
Absolutely, and something that we talked about at the top of the game was the corner kicks. We have not seen a single corner kick from both sides, but more importantly, we haven't seen a single one by the Lions. They have not been able to make an actual contested attack with all of their chips pushed in, all of their pieces in place. And as I say it, here comes a corner for William Peace. But that is going to be the objective, I believe, in the second half for the Lions. They have to get more pressure in the enemy territory. You have to put more pieces down there. Hand raised by William Peace, and an excellent header by Jason Asin finds Boris Bosick. Jacome puts it on the ground with a header. Cooper clears it out to William Peace defender. Thought that was headed for Davis Knight for a second. Nico wrestling for it. Being aggressive, being irritating, able to get this ball away, but William Peace very quick on their feet after a tumble, hops back up. Popped up and put out. Tough tumble there by both squads. No call by the referee. Interesting decision there. Deep into Lion territory, Pescaru chasing this one down to the corner. Jacome, Davis Knight. Knight one-on-one with the rest of the defense. Knight trying to use his blazing speed and control the ball, push the brakes on it, putting on a defensive masterclass there to keep the ball in front of him, but it's going to get through. Vogel launches it, long past, and just like that, the attack is evaporated. The Lions will have to restart. Cooper to Mattis. Mattis off a tough touch, trying to keep it ahead of him. No whistle. Clean. Now William Peace just handling the ball in their half. Everybody moves back to their position. At midfield, the Pacers go for a long cross, and it's a perfect dot. But right there is Boris Bosick. He forces that out. And it'll be a throw-in once again for William Peace. And a couple of substitutions, it looks like, is coming in. At least one right now. I think we have one waiting in the wings. William Peace, and now Scene takes that one off the number. Now Davis Knight has the ball. I've noticed something here in the past couple minutes. Whenever Davis has the ball, he is pulling out the bag of tricks. He is having incredible success with just the skills. But unfortunately, there's no one around him to support him.
He's a piece to a bigger puzzle, and those other pieces just haven't had time to be found yet. Like you said, Davis can put the moves on. He's got great speed, but he's kind of been alone as this attack has been a bit behind him.
Something we saw last year, it was a two-pronged attack between Davis and Colin Vogel. But Vogel, I'm not sure if it's to the scheme or what, but has been restricted to moving on that wing. And now William Peace goes for an attack here, but it's going to go find its way up the hill. But we have not seen that speed from Vogel at all. He has been completely restricted to playing a wing position. And I think you're best when you have that two-speed approach right up the middle with Davis Knight and Colin Vogel.
It worked like a charm last year. I don't know if it's Keith being in that mix, because he plays very similar to those two players. But yeah, he's just been kind of quiet today.
William Peace once again starting an attack. Lyric Bratton in the middle of it. That will be put out all the way to the corner. Nico Eberhardt having it flying in.
Now just under 6 minutes, so time ticking down in this first half for the Lions to put something up on the board.
It'll be a throw-in for the Pacers. This one chopped on the ground. Playing in the corner is William Peace. Lyric Bratton and Delroy Mattis put legs in front of that one. This will be popped up. Still in the box, Nico Eberhardt trying to throw his body in front of that ball, but William Peace, no matter what, they always have this one. And a dirty tackle there, but no call. Eberhardt able to win the battle momentarily. Great job by Nico. Get this down the line. Vogel able to keep it in play. Colin Vogel moving his way through, and Atunez well out of the net will collect it and direct this ball where he wants it to go. And in a situation like that, it's happened so many times, you need the Lions to intercept that pass. You have to get that ball away from the defense, or else exactly what is happening right now is going to continue to happen.
We've been playing scrappy defense so far. It's just, like you said, intercepting those passes. When it's a one-on-one play, defense has been playing fine, but being aggressive and going for the ball on those passes hasn't been much of a factor.
Jacome and Pascaru racing for it. This is over the head of Chase Johnson. I'm not sure if he got a tip on it or not.
Yeah, Johnson got a little bit of that ball and was enough to get it off course just enough so the Pacers couldn't tap it in for an easy one.
So that will turn into a corner kick for William Peace, their second of the half, second overall in the game between both teams. And a short one on the ground. Chase Johnson will watch this one ricochet off the stone wall directly back into his gloved hands and take it for a goal kick. Opts to kick it. Looking for Boris Bosick. Bosick trying to power his way through. The ball will be out and it'll be a throw in for the Lions. time continues to shorten as the Lions might be staring at their last attacking opportunity if they can keep the ball on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, 3 minutes left now, so, I mean, you got to think the Pacers are going to stick with that conservative approach here.
William Peace once again steals it away. A swarm of defenders, including Delroy Mattis, who puts a foot on this one and gets it loose. Delroy finds himself in once more. Mattis puts the brakes on the ball, finds his way on the outside half. It looks like Pescaru got the last touch on that one, so it will be a throw-in for the Pacers.
You could see Mattis tried to draw a call there as he might have flopped, and the ref even started to shake his body sideways, saying, hey, I'm not going to call that.
Bosick, a hard hit. The referee blew the whistle. I'm not really sure for what purpose, as Bosick does throw it in. Lyric Bratton now going to get that through, and an aggressive attacking attempt by William Peace. Chase Johnson comes well out of net, needs to get back in there as this one's cleared out by Jacome. Bosick finds his way to a defender for William Peace. This is going to roll out and be a goal kick once more for the Lions.
Just under 2 minutes now. So I think the Pacers' game plan has been aggressive, very, very aggressive defense and conservative offense, trying to keep the ball out of the Lions' hands because they know what they can do.
This one intended for Vogel. Vogel looks like he's able to get ahead on it, but a very high clear is going to find his way into the stands.
Another umbrella ball.
Yep. Cooper trying to get Eberhardt, get this ball loose. Delroy Mattis. Long ball by Nathan Jacome, trying to find Pescaru in the corner. Christy Pescaru wheels it off, unable to keep the ball in front of him as he slips on the turf. It'll be a goal kick for Atunez.
Thankfully, Pescaru was okay after that play, though. He didn't roll his ankle because that was something that was definitely possible on that play, landing on the ball.
William Peace charging their way through another huge clear by Nathan Jacome. Pescaru unable to win that header. It'll roll out. It should be a throw-in for Piedmont. Yes, it will.
That's just about do it for this first half because there's just like about 20 seconds left. So Piedmont needs to figure out how to change their offense.
It's going to be a long conversation with Coach Stevens in the huddle at halftime as Davis Knight tries to get that ball, falls to the turf. We'll have the stoppage once more. It will be a throw-in for the Lions. Maybe they can have a kick and a prayer here in the closing seconds, but they won't. It'll be William Peace with the final kick, and Chase Johnson will collect it. And Grant, overall, I would say a disappointing first half for the Lions, who have not shown a lot of tenacity on the offensive end.
Yeah, they haven't shown a lot of tenacity, but these Pacers have really brought it. They've been aggressive on defense, trying to take the ball away, and once they get the ball in their hands, they've played so conservative, and the Lions just have seemed out of it because their offensive game plan is normally go, 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 and be really aggressive, but they haven't been able to do that today. Vogel hasn't been able to really come out of his shell. Knight hasn't been able to make his big plays. Keith hasn't been able to just be there when he needs to be. All these big players haven't been able to connect because this Pacers team is playing great defense.
I'll be interested to see who comes in for substitutions in the second half. We'll step away here. Your score at halftime, 2-0 in favor of William Peace. You're watching Piedmont Lions Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to Piedmont Lions Athletics on YouTube. Eric Evanson here with Grant Prather. And Grant, we got the score sheet, we got the stat sheet at the end of the half, and that possession total is quite ugly.
Yeah, 64% of this game, the ball has been in the William Peace Pacers' possession. So not good for Piedmont if they want to get an offensive attack together, but also the Pacers are out shooting the Lions 18-3. Big differential that the Lions are going to want to have to at least turn around in the slightest to give themselves some sort of chance to crawl back from this 2-0 deficit.
It has been a rough one this afternoon at the WAC. It appears that we're going to have a couple changes here to start the second half. Looks to be, I think that's Jack DeSanto. Keith is back in the game, along with Andre Grant, and Muhammad Al-Saidi will touch the turf for the first time this afternoon, and staying in is Chase Johnson in net.
He had a decent first half, all things considered. 7 saves. Most of the saves weren't high-level difficulty. The 2 goals that the Pacers had in the first half weren't exactly on him either. The Lions defense kind of had some issues. They let a lot of balls slip through the cracks. But they're going to look to just try to switch up the aggression and try to flip this script of this game.
This has to be an aggressive half for the Lions. It just has to be. You come out of last half completely lost in the possession game. You cannot get that back. You cannot take back the mistakes that 2 goals led to. What you have to do now is adapt and overcome to it, and you have to get points on the board now. You've put yourself in a position where you have to score point blank, period.
Definitely, and it also doesn't make it any easier on the Lions that it's only gotten hotter here at the WAC, and the sun is blazing down.
And it doesn't make it any easier for us either, because it's starting to creep into the booth.
We got the AC on, but I'm still feeling it.
Yeah, I know Ian out there struggling. Ian is in the sun, along with our camera. So, good luck to everybody in this second half as we get started at 2:08. It's about an hour and 7 minutes after the first. Nathan Jacome off a header. And now 4 straight headers. We're going to see a 5th. 5. No, can't see 6 as it drops to the turf. Jacome with a clear. And Vogel races in. I would love to see Colin Vogel a lot more active in this match the second half. I'm not sure how he needs to get into the action, but once he's there, he's a game changer. Davis Knight a touch. Jason Asin also in the mix. Al-Saidi able to get a touch on it. Beautiful cross up by him. And he's going to find Nico Eberhardt on the far side. Here's Colin. Colin through to Jason Asin. Muhammad back in the mix. Nico, high kick should be in. It will be. I think William Peace is going to let it roll out, though. Too much backspin on it. The vicious header by the Pacers. And now we see this game plan continue to be implemented. The Lions have to figure out a way to break that chain link between the defenders and Atunez. You have to break up that core 4 in order to intercept and really wreck this defense.
And that didn't happen in the first half either. They couldn't reach that connection, and especially trying to crawl back from this deficit, you have to put some sort of pressure on the Pacers.
Atunez once more. Andre Grant able to win that. Off-footed, put out. Keith and Grant once more. It'll be poked out. It'll be a throw-in for William Peace. Andre Grant. A lot more communication between everybody on the pitch this time around. Also, AD able to get a touch, but not enough as William Peace continues to drive. Jacome falls to the turf for a moment, but pops back up. Also on the turf as well as Jason Asin. Now Davis Knight takes a turn on the carpet. Vogel to Jason. Jason trying to blitz his way through. Unfortunately, gets trapped up between 2 attackers. Now Asin struggling to stay on his feet. Able to win the one-on-one so far. Push it through. Here comes Keith. Asin, very aggressive, is going to get called for a foul there. A little bit too much from the back end. And it will result in a free kick for William Peace.
Even through all that aggression and that ended up being a foul called on a scene, the aggression from the Lions is something that you love to see because it's something they really didn't have in that first half.
It's a lot of aggression there, but what also cost them there, he expended a lot of energy just trying to stay up between two attackers. It's a very difficult tightrope balance. You have to be fluid with your attacks now. You can't be expending all your energy, especially here in the opening minutes, and then be gassed in the last half. So let's say the Lions do get a 2-1. Let's see if they get a goal here. Then you have to rally off a defender, or an attacker rather. This one a long cross and running into the net there. Keeping himself up is Bowbrey. Chase Johnson touches the ball for the first time this half. Everyone getting some final stretches in here, just making sure everything's loose. Bratton to Vogel. Vogel caught off step a little bit here as William Peace is out of the gate really fast, really trying to push and get that third goal. Hard touch and a good trap by Beaupre. Al-Saidi as well as Grant getting a touch on this one, popping it up. Nico Eberhardt tries for a big clear, but we'll put it out. Nico a little bit tripped up by the William Peace attacker. Both of them exchange a my bad. This one crossed out by Muhammad. And now looking for a big through here to Keith. Keith staying up. Mason Keith, the freshman, driving his way into the box from outside, goes for a cross, and an excellent stop by Atunez. It'll be put out. Here's Andre Grant trying to collect this ball back. And the attack is evaporated, but it's like we saw a lot of times in the first half. That attack was just spearheaded by one person. This time in the case of Keith, last half, it was Davis's night. Al-Swady now, William Peace going to the attack here, and Chase Johnson falls on top of this one to smother it.
Yeah, and you mentioned how Keith was the only one down on that last attack. You got to have some sort of help because we mentioned in the first half of this broadcast, those short passes really help bring out each other's speed, and that's the key to this Lions offense. And they're good at making connections. They're good at using that speed, but it just hasn't been showcased yet.
Didn't mention Tyler Vogt is in the game for Piedmont. He'll be on the back half defending. Nico Eberhardt able to stick it through. Nico wrestling with this one, and Austin able to win that one. Taking a tumble is the William Peace attacker. And now here comes Colin Vogel. Vogel with blinding speed, has to keep this ball in front of him. Vogel goes for a chance. Atunez lets it slide past his hand, and it is going to result in a goal kick. There's that single attack by the Lions. Just unable to put the finishing touches on it. Pacing Vogel with it was Davis Knight, but Vogel just really had no opportunity to go for a cross kick there, as it might have resulted in another clearance for William Peace. Smart by Colin to know the spatial awareness, but unfortunately just not enough on that touch.
Yeah, Knight was behind him, but Vogel had a couple hard touches that made him have to go faster than Knight could, so just unlucky.
But you see there the afterburners that Vogel can turn on. He can be such a force, but with Keith on the other end, you want those three guys. You want them racing in tandem with each other. You want them all three pushing at the same time. But unfortunately, the Lions have just not been able to get a cohesive attack off. Nico on the far side, slide tackle clean, comes up, and it will be a corner kick for William Peace. Beautiful piece of defending there by Nico, but now the defense has a lot more on their plate.
Yeah, you got to give it to Eberhardt. He's had a great scrappy game, just defending the ball one-on-one and trying to snuff out those chances. Although that resulted in a corner, it saved an immediate opportunity that the Pacers had.
So we set up the corner kick. Looks like William Peace is going to go for a shot in the box. He will. Scott in the air. Jacome settling under. It's off a header. And now Mahad Al-Soaidi. Huge kick into the air. Short touch and a great trap by William Peace and a good header by Vogt. Vogt able to wear that one off the chest. Now it'll get back past to Nico Eberhardt. Eberhardt drives it deep down in the field, and here we go with Atunez again. The keeper for William Peace has been a very busy man this afternoon, and it's not with the saves. He's been controlling the game, the pace of the game, no pun intended for William Peace, and distributing the ball very well to his defenders. William Peace swapping to the attacking end now. Lyric Bratton playing out the back foot. Now Nico Eberhardt joins the fray, and that's going to find its way into the back of the net for a third William Peace goal. It is 3-0 at the start of the second half. The Lions have had no answer for the Pacers' attack.
Yeah, Atunez, big piece of that attack. He formulated that original kick and brought it in where the Lions just got caught off guard and just couldn't catch up to that attack.
Kickoff once more. Now Asin trying to drive his way through the defenses, using some explosive speed in the box. He's going to go for the side one, and Atunez just an outstretched kick there. I don't know if he got a touch on that one, but it was wide of the goal nonetheless. I think it is going to result in a corner. It's going to be the first corner for the Lions this afternoon. A beautiful save by Atunez.
And at least the Lions were able to come out of the gate there, still aggressive, unfazed to that third goal, and just, you got to stay in this one any way you can.
This could be critical. Knight with the cross, and it's deep into the box, and Jacome almost hit upper 90 with that one, but just off the crossbar. Jacome beside himself with that one. You know he's frustrated. He was just a slight centimeter away from a great touch into the net.
Two straight chances that just resulted in a miss. But like I said, at least you're seeing some sort of shots being put on Atunez here.
You have to go full in now. You've seen that you can. You've had two, like you said, Grant, two great chances. Push the chips in here. It's 3-0. Let's see what this offense can do with their backs completely against the wall. Let's see if the speed is huge a component of this Piedmont team. Let's see if they can flip around on defense quickly. Gonna have to do it here as Jacome and Grant surround this ball. Andre Grant to the line. Is going to be passed out by William Peace. Also AD and Andre surrounding it. Great job by Lyric Bratton to knock that down. Also 80, great clear. He's trying to find Keith. Mason Keith threw ball over to Davis Knight. And here we see a great attack attempt. Here's Colin Vogel. Vogel up the midfield. And no call by the referee as Vogel and the William Peace defender take a tumble onto the turf. But that's exactly what you need. Keith, an excellent through ball to Knight and an excellent, better pass to Colin Vogel by Davis Knight. That is exactly what you need. You need your three fastest to push the tables. You need them to run it against this William Peace defense because you're not catching them. They are too fast. Bratton back pass to Chase Johnson. Johnson, huge cross kick. Davis Knight trying to settle under it, but unfortunately it had eyes for the defense. Keeping it in front of him, it's Tyler Vogt. Vogt trying to shove his way, and heads up at the communications tent. Everybody had their hands up. Who do you think would have blocked that one?
I feel like Davis.
Davis had his arms up. He was ready to go. don't think it was towards Danielle a lot. I think Danielle's safe on the corner. She knows where she's positioned. See, it would have been between Davis and Joseph, and a couple of our other fellow student workers over there. Davis Knight trying to win it, falls to the ground. Now Keith was a little bit caught flat-footed. He was watching his man to defend and just could not push that ball. Lyric Bratton able to get it off the shin guards. Now also 80 to Jason Asin. Asin takes a tumble. That will be a foul towards William Peace. William Peace attacker not listening to the referee. He's not having it. Here's Andre Grant. Muhammad trying to go out to Keith, and that's going to roll past him. It'll be another goal kick for Atunez.
A big difference, though, so far is that Piedmont's possession time has changed a lot. Even though William Peace had that first goal, Piedmont's had a lot more time to try to make an attack.
Keep an eye on Jorge Lemus for Pacers. Number 7. He's in midfield right now around the crest. Had a couple of words with the referee, and the referee is still trying to calm him down, as well as his teammates all the way in the back trying to calm him down, keep him out of trouble with the official. So keep an eye on that for William Peace. Davis Knight able to steal this ball away. Knight, he trying to put the moves on him. Goes to Muhammad Al-Swaidi, and unable to contain that one, as once again the defense for William Peace takes it away. I've seen a lot more of a refreshing attack approach here from the Lions here, Grant.
It's a bit of a relief, too, because it was starting to get to the point in the end of that first half where you started to think, oh, are they even going to be able to make an attack? But now you see those pieces start to come together. They're just missing that one final push.
And this is an approach you like to see at sort of the beginning of games. You're feeling out the defense, right, with your attack. Unfortunately, the Lions had to be put on the back foot from the very beginning. So they never had a chance to feel out the defense. Chase Johnson surveying the field in front of him. He's going to go to the short way to Nathan Jacome. Jacome to Al-Swaidi. Here's Andre Grant. Grant closing off a route, tries to get it through. Now Al-Swaidi pushes up. Davis Knight taking a shove there. No call by the referee. I think one of the defenders for William Peace fully expected a whistle there and was excited there wasn't.
Probably because Knight didn't fall down all the way, because he got moved a lot off that push, but he didn't fall to his knees.
Well, I'm surprised because Davis has been targeted 2 separate times from 2 nasty tackles and did get the benefit of the doubt there, but Davis staying upright, maybe that is the point, Grant. Al-Swaidi gets it right back to him, right back where it came from. It'll roll out and be a throw-in. Tunez all the way out of the net here, basically becomes a third defender in the backfield. He is nowhere close to that net. If you were able to get the ball near midfield, you could snipe this ball all the way in.
Oh, easily enough. You could get it from 100 feet out probably.
Well, try it. See if you can collect this ball near the midfield line and just snipe it through. Atunez has been playing this dangerous game all game long, and the Lions have yet to punish him for it.
And Asin, I think, would be the main guy to try to boot that. He's got a huge boot, uses that on those set pieces. Maybe we'll see that.
But William Peace just taking their time, burning seconds off the clock, passing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. They don't want to give the Lions the ball as we see this again. You got to hand the ball off at some point. That was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. A cool 2 minutes completely shaved off the clock simply because you don't want to give the team the ball. You don't want to play the team that you came to play.
I wonder if, William Peace, obviously every team comes in wanting to win a game, but, it's a conservative approach, but at the same time, it's you're taking away some aspects of the game that, I mean, you just got to play on. And like you said, 2 minutes, it's not very, I don't know if that's a sportsmanship
I was going to say, that's all bordering on the line of unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
Asin and Al-Suwaidi are out of the game. Here's Delroy Mattis and Boris Bosick in, along with Josiah Tillett. Or excuse me, not Bosick, that's still Vogel over there, but Josiah Tillett coming into this game. Vote puts it through. Keith, flag is raised, and now we're playing through. There was whistle stopping. Now Davis Knight trying to put his way into the box, and we'll have a flag raised there. So a foul, I believe that's going to be on Davis.
Wasn't a crazy amount of contact, but just enough for the ref to blow that whistle. One-on-one scuffle that far down. I can respect that call.
So the exact substitution is Al-Suwaidi out, Tillett in for him, and Asin out, Mattis in for him.
And just under 27 minutes, so 18 minutes into this first half, and Piedmont still hasn't been able to put one up, and meanwhile the Pacers have 3-0.
Pacers once again taking their time in the backfield, passing back between each other. Jacome able to disrupt the defense enough to get the ball loose. I believe it rolled out. It'll be a throw-in for William Peace. Good job by Josiah Tillett to get a foot on the ball. He'll just boot it all the way to the other side of the pitch. This is something you do when there's 2 minutes left in the game, not 10, 15.
Let alone 25 like we're saying right now.
Jacome, tough header, finds midfield to Davis Knight. Now Keith sprints away and takes a tough tackle, a good tackle by the William Peace defender. He's able to stand sturdy and control the ball. It's a tough thing to do. Nico Eberhardt. Jacome. Excellent job by Jacome to brace himself and block it. Now Colin Vogel puts it past Davis Knight. Now Vogel has to turn on the afterburners. Vogel does have him. Colin Vogel racing down the field. Here comes Atunez. Atunez with a block. It'll roll out of the box. Atunez has to use his feet and get it out of there. Now it's up to him and Vogel, and Atunez is going to boot it all the way back to the defense. There's still an opportunity here. Still a lot of defenses upset as Nico Eberhardt carries it across midfield. Nico to Mattis. Mattis going to find Andre across the side. Near side of the pitch. Tried to get it to Josiah Tillett, but it's going to go right past him. Now Josiah gets a touch. Now it's going to escape past both of them. Couple substitutions getting ready to come in for the Lions. Anthony Bonilla appears to be one of them, and 4 substitutions appear to be coming in for William Peace.
As we're playing this hold ball, move ball game, 23 minutes Still just trying to nick those seconds down.
There will be a foul there. Both men tumble to the turf. We'll see who that's going to be in favor of. I believe it's going to be for William Peace. And I believe it's going to be Davis given a card there. It's either Davis or Grant. Very interesting that that's going to be the first card for Davis as opposed to maybe a card for someone else.
And Andrew Mesnard was the one who took the brunt of that hit from Davis, walking off with a little bit of a limp, so glad he's okay, but he'll have to come out.
And so it is a yellow on the Lions' lead attacker. Anthony Bonilla comes in for Andre Grant.
And John Eatman came back in for Mesnard there.
Well, while they're doing this, Grant, you got any dinner plans?
I was thinking about hitting up the calf, but I got to watch the
you go.
Falcons game after this.
That's true. Get some action now on the opposite side of the pitch. William Peace, very conservative here. They don't have to do a lot for the remainder of this game. At the opening few minutes of this second half, they scored the third goal, and it appears they have just completely let off the gas since. They are completely just content with holding the ball in any way, shape, or form. It'll be a throw-in for the Pacers.
Yeah, William Peace in complete control of this one, and maybe not the best way possible, but they've just been everywhere this game, swarming offense, just doing everything right, seemingly.
So 4 substitutions coming in for the Pacers. And I think we're going to have a break here for some water. It's been a hot day here at the WAC. We're going to take a break here in the booth as well. You're watching Piedmont Lions Athletics on YouTube. Welcome back to the WAC. Eric Evanson here with Grant Prather, Ian Grimes out there on the balcony weathering the sun. It's been a rough one here today. Lions down 3-0. William Peace kicking their feet up here towards the end of this game. Still 22 minutes to play. Long throw into the box. Good header by Bratton. Tillett trying to race on this ball. Good control by William Peace into the corner. Still in play, and it is going to be booted out. Be a goal kick. Or, I'm sorry, it'll be a corner kick for the Pacers. That was Roberto Rayo with the impressive ball control. Chase Johnson flies through the air to make a grab. Settling under here, William Peace attacker. Keith tries to jump up and get a header. James Cash in the game now. Watch to get past him. There will be a whistle, and it will be a throw-in for the Pacers.
Back to the way they were playing in the first half, just controlling time of possession, not giving the Lions any chances. Again, another reason why the Lions have been held scoreless so far.
Lions still have an opportunity. We've seen the flashes from this offense to come up, and when you have all three moving, of Keith, Vogel, and Knight, when you get all three of those guys moving, you can make a decent attack. Unfortunately, you just can't get all of them on the same page at the moment.
Speed kills, and it just hasn't been able to today so far.
I believe, actually, Davis Knight's out of the game at the moment. Trying to spy him on the pitch. Ball's up. Chase Johnson makes the grab. So it looks like your attacking trio is Grant, Keith, and Vogel. And yeah, give Knight some rest. He's been at the forefront of every attack that the Lions have had today. Andre Grant is pretty fast in his own right. Tried to get it to Keith, but it is going to be wrapped up by the William Peace defenders. Bonilla to Vogt. Vogt to Tillett. Now Vogel. Well, that's going to be an offside call.
Blazing speed backfired there for Vogel.
Yep.
A little bit too far up.
That's the first offside we've seen between both sides. Meanwhile, yesterday, I believe there was about 6 offside calls.
Yesterday was everywhere. Everywhere.
And we have seen a little bit more of a disciplined game today than we did see yesterday from the Lions. But, I mean, it just comes down to the Lions have been unable to find a way to get past William Peace's defenders or adapt to a game plan that William Peace has done.
Yeah, and although Lions have had more disciplined game, maybe that's throwing them off of what they normally do, which is attack, attack, attack. So they just haven't seemed like themselves.
Not in the slightest. Now, Pacers back on the attack. Here comes Britton. He's going to get a touch on it, or Bratton, excuse me. Bratton's going to get a touch on it, and I believe it is going to stay in. Wow. Walking the tightrope there. Bratton, a sure kick, and no handball called, even though it hit Lemus's arm pretty directly. Taking a fall is Vogt, it appears. Oh, that's not Vogt, excuse me. It's going to be Mason Keith. I think Keith kind of got wrapped up with the leg there. Yeah, the right leg ailing him a little bit. So Chase Johnson comes out. Johnson taking his time, making sure to get the right call from the ref. And now, yep, gonna have the whistle. Referee gave Johnson the thumbs up and then was making sure everybody else was okay, and I guess Johnson just saw the thumbs up and was ready to go.
And the seconds tick down a little bit past 18 minutes. So, like you said, anything's possible. That 3-0 equates to 6 minutes per goal, and the Lions are fast, so you never know.
They're very fast. Header by William Peace's defenders. Here's Tyler Vogt. Vogt put a boot on it, but unfortunately can't keep it in front of him, as now the Lions defense will have to swarm back to midfield. Bratton punts it out. So that little attack right there, it's something we haven't seen, but it makes a lot of sense because this defense was able to turn on a dime to get back to where they started. And if you have your great defenders like Bratton in the back, what's the point of not pushing the chips in on a couple of plays that look promising?
Right. I think again, the Lions have played conservative too, and Bratton's been playing great defense, so you got to put some sort of trust in him, and then the other defending core back with him. And you obviously have a lot of trust in your offensive unit too, with a little bit different personnel here, but still, you got to believe that, like you said, push all those chips in, hope you can score a couple.
Long throw in. Header won by nobody as it falls to the ground. This one excellently blocked by James Cash. Huge clear will find its way all the way down to Delroy Mattis, who's back in the game. Vogel trying to win that one. Heads up on the Piedmont bench. I think someone had to duck and dive that one. This ball will roll all the way up the hill. You might want to get that one before it rolls back into play, as it is right now.
Look at Damien going to grab that one.
Yeah, go get that, Damien. Tyler Vogt. Didn't see what the whistle was for. Not sure.
I saw one of the Lions had his hands up having words with the ref, but...
yeah, I believe Nathan was trying to talk to Tim at some point, but I didn't see the exact reason for the stoppage. Well, it'll be taken by Bratton, though. Whatever works. Cash tried to find Grant, but unfortunately can't stay up, and that is going to be a foul. I believe it is going to be on James Cash, as Hurley took the dirt there. Everybody heading back to their positions. Nico Eberhardt gets on the sideline, getting ready to come in. Nico got a good rest. He played outstanding today. Very aggressive is Nico. William Peace back passes here. Tillett. Good moves by the referee to stay out of the way of that one. James Cash on the left side. Long ball, Jacome off a header. I believe the ball's going to be thrown in here by Piedmont. He will be. Lions everybody trying to get back to where this ball should be. It's going to be right here. Here's Bonilla. Give it off to Josiah. Bonilla, huge clear. Trying to find Mattis, and an offside once more. Now the Lions, you see a little bit of desperation on their part where they're just trying to get the ball on the other end. But it's led to, I believe now, 3 offside calls.
Like you said, desperation, because they're just trying to get whatever chances they have. But, I mean, I don't know if there's any regret in their minds for not trying for those chances early on in this game. But, I mean, definitely something to game plan for in future contests.
And we're going to get a set piece here. Bonilla sets up. It's going to be Bonilla taking it instead of the active Asin. Interesting call here. More straightaway than usual, and it gives plenty of time for the Pacer defenders to get ahead on it. Bonilla able to get there. Whistle once again. And it is once again going to go the Lions' way. So the Lions getting a lot of opportunity here from the official, but just not making them count to this point.
Yeah, like I said, missing that final push. It's so frustrating to have everything in place and then just miss one thing.
Huge cross just well over the head of the tall Nathan Jacome. Jacome a little upset at him about that one, but I don't know if Nathan's going to be able to get to that.
He had a decent beat on it. It just sailed over his head. He was a little bit early on it. A little bit late, I should say. And 13 minutes ticking down. Lions, at this point, running out of chances. You got to stay in it. It's not over till the whistle blows, but William Peace has just been in control of this the entire time.
You like to take something away from this match, something positive, because it has, quite frankly, just been a lot of negatives for the Lions this afternoon. And a credit to William Peace, a lot of credit to William Peace. They have come in, they've played great defense, they have stifled any chances, and they have sapped, we've said it a lot today, they have sapped the speed out of the game of the Lions. They have not given any of their fast runners, and Vogel, Keith, or Knight, an opportunity to run away with the ball, and when they have, they've been largely contested. Bratton wrestling with this one, trying to keep it in, or out, rather. Jacome heads it. Chase Johnson punches it out of the box. Everybody leaping for this ball. Now Asin's turn to get it. I don't think Jason felt like jumping. He just wanted to get it down to his feet quick as possible. Johnson with a laser right up the middle. Another one high in the air. Looked like Grant was settling under with a header, now off the shoulder of one of the Pacers. Pacers back in the defensive mode. Now Vogel steals it away, tries to find Andre Grant on a long pass. Vogt trying to get even with his man. Able to poke it through to a more well-rounded defensive attack there. It looked like Nico and Anthony Bonilla were going to be able to crash on that one, but instead Chase Johnson collects it. That is going to be a foul. I believe it's going to be on Vogel. Vogel, the aggressor in that situation. The Lions have been hit with that a lot. We saw Davis Knight get carded. Colin Vogel called for a foul there because they are having to be this aggressive here in the second half. They can't play to their game. They're having to go full on, just trying to race this ball down and be, say it, desperate.
Yeah, you got to do whatever you can. At least after that call, like you said, Lions played a much more disciplined game. Vogel was there to help up the man who he hit down. So, I mean, that's one positive takeaway.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with, sportsmen. It's just that this is the way that the Lions have to play now. You have to play aggressive, and if somebody gets knocked down during it, you tried, right? Of course, you help them back up to their feet. But you also have to recognize that this is the state of the game at the moment. I didn't know if that ball was going to come down for a minute. It's going to roll its way down the street. Somebody go get that thing. Those balls are not inexpensive. They are not cheap. Good trap by the William Peace attacker. Jacome all over this ball. So we'll roll out, and Anthony Bonilla will have a throw in.
And then you can see the way this heat is starting to affect a lot of these players, especially the Lions, players like Jacome, hands on the knees, grimacing. They're tired.
It is a very hot day on the first day of fall once again. Chase Johnson collects it, and now he's in a little bit of trouble as the William Peace attacker flew in, and surprised there was no whistle there, but we'll play on. Christopher Bellin in the game. From Switzerland, Bellin is. I don't know how he got here, but,
Big Swiss.
Big Swiss.
Switzerland to Demmerst is an interesting move.
It is a very interesting move. I don't know. Like we said, it's a pathway for sure. I'm sure Christopher loves it here. It's a lot hotter today than it would be, right?
Definitely.
Pacers setting up a free kick. Asin trying to win that battle. Falls down. Gets back up. Jacome. Slipped there by one of the Pacer attackers. And that gives Bonilla a chance to chase that ball out. 7 minutes, 30 seconds left. Asin puts the pedal on that one, and then it's crossed out by Anthony Bonilla. Grant through ball, trying to find Delroy. Now Mattis has to race for it down the line. Mattis to Andre. Andre Grant trying to collect it. William Peace still trying to shut this ball out. It will roll out, and I believe it's going to be a goal kick for Tunez. Grant was motioning to the referee in the corner saying, hey, I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it when it went out. But, you know, doesn't result in a corner, unfortunately. Now we're having cramp of some sort in the backfield. Looks like Nathan Jacome having to stretch out on the turf.
Again, that heat setting in. And I think he played a 90-minute game yesterday, and
I
he's
was
played
about to
all
say,
today's game.
Jacome has not stepped out of either one of this weekend's matches.
180 minutes in 2 days is no joke.
In this heat. Bonilla leaps into the air, and it will be put out once again for another Pacer throw-in. Belen to Tillett. Asin plays it off the off foot there, and it will be skied up, and it'll roll up that hill. It'll be a throw in for William Peace. Asin tried something cheeky there, but unfortunately just overran the ball on his part. Belen rolls it to Vogel. Christopher now taken out, and that will be a foul. Vogel and his man still wrestling for that one, but whistle was blown. This one just over to Belen. Vogt tried to stick a foot in there now. Bonilla having to move to the near side. Tyler Vogt over to Andre Grant. Grant now trying to find Mattis, or maybe Grant taking it himself. He is taking it right up the middle. Has to carve his way through the defense. Takes a shot, and it's going to find its way up the hill. And Tunez gets an opportunity for a kick once more.
And the first shot in forever, it seems like, for these Lions.
First good shot, too.
It was a good look from Grant, and he's also has very underrated speed. And I mean, couldn't pass it to Mattis because he was well guarded there. But Grant, I mean, I'm liking the aggression, just trying to stay in and doing whatever he can to try to put something up on the board, have some sort of takeaway.
Long cross by Tunez. Tillett able to get a foot on it. Now Bonilla roll out. There's 3:45 left. Vogt passes it out. William Peace, now that I think about it, hasn't really tried to have an attacking opportunity in a minute. They've just kept the ball out of their territory. Here's Mattis. This one out in the air. William Peace once again recovers quite calmly. And Grant, it's been a rough one today at the WAC for the Lions. They just have not been able to get anything started. The engine just false started today. Just could not get anything going. So what did you see particularly that did not work out for Piedmont this afternoon?
I think it was the beginning of this game dictated the rest of it, because once they got down, they didn't really have time to get back in it. And like you said, that offensive attack wasn't able to get going. In the future, you know it'll be able to, but you got to start out aggressive. You can't start out flat-footed. You can't not be ready to play the game, because that's kind of how they looked at that first 10 minutes or so. They've had a couple little sparks here and there throughout this contest. Obviously still no goals, but there's been some times where they've got what they're looking for.
Chase Johnson collecting after a beautiful Nico Eberhardt slide. And you're exactly right. Just it's been flashes, maybe the very smallest of flashes, but just unable to turn anything on and get anything started as Vogel tries to get one through here, but it's going to be out by the Peace defense, and Vogel, a big boot, just trying to get something going, and it will be a corner kick, it looks like. Yeah, so someone deflected that ball. Lions with another opportunity for a score here to avoid being shut out at home. But after the offensive explosion that was yesterday against Pfeiffer, you really expected the Lions to come out here, have better synchronicity with each other, and able to find their man. But unfortunately, just maybe William Peace's game plan completely disrupted and countered what the Lions had in store this afternoon. Vogel takes it himself and skies one in the air. Jacome tries to get ahead on it. Unfortunately, a Peace defender was there before him and will roll out of the box.
And another thing I've seen today is very good play by certain players. Nico Eberhardt, Jacome's played pretty well, but you can't have 2 or 3 players playing well to have a good team play. So you got to be able to work more as a unit, and I don't know if a lot of that is due to this heat and due to the quick turnaround, but that could be part of it.
Yep. Vogel, Keith, and Knight, that trio at the top, they're very fast and very lethal, but unfortunately they could not get the ball to one another. They were swarmed on defense the entire time. And give flowers to Nathan Jacome. He will have played all minutes of this game. I believe he will be the only player to do so, to play all minutes in this contest. Maybe Vogel stayed in as well. But I'm sure he is going to have a very, very early night. I'm sure he's tired. As Andre Grant pushes his way across midfield. The Pacers now will close out the final few seconds, it appears. Try one last tack Belen off a header. With 10 seconds left, there's a cross. It'll be out. And that will effectively end this one. William Peace comes out of Demarest with a 3-0 victory over the Lions. Lions shell-shocked, it appeared, from the opening goal and just could not answer the call off the mat, Grant.
Yeah, it started out slow, and like I said earlier, that dictated how they played the rest of the game. And you had a couple guys play a lot of minutes. We keep coming back to the heat, and just being tired being a factor in this one. That's probably the reason they started out so slow. You have a lot of personnel, but when you switch that personnel up, that messes with the chemistry, which is probably why Keith, Vogel, Knight, they couldn't get going offensively.
There were a lot of big changes early on in this game. As from the opening starting lineups, we saw a group that we were unfamiliar with today. Chase Johnson started in goal for the Lions. We saw Jack DeSanto get the start. James Cash actually did start. They did some substitution silliness there, but he did come in at the opening minute, or at least close to it. But we didn't see the group that we saw score 3 goals yesterday, Grant, both if they were on the field and or off the field. It was a rough one once again here in Demarest, and the team will have a lot to look at before next game. Just
getting back in sync is the key, because they were just out of sync today. Could be kind of a blip game, something that you put behind you. Looking forward to conference, though, you gotta be in sync for those crucial games.
Absolutely. They went 3-3 in conference last year. They got to do better this year, especially with the expectations that they built for themselves last year. Well, that's going to do it for us this afternoon at the WAC. For Grant Prather, Ian Grimes, our cameraman, and our great athletic communications crew led by Miss Danielle Percival, including Davis Barlow and Joseph Garwood. I'm Eric Edmondson saying so long from the WAC. Your final score once again 3-0. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hope you had a great weekend, and as always, go Lions.